All right, our last problem. We're going to find the volume of this figure when y equals 9. There are a couple of different ways we can do this. I'm going to use the algebraic method because you might be asked to find the volume of the figure and they don't give you what y equals. And so I want you to be able to do that as well. It's a little more complicated. So let's start with that process. First thing you need to do is know the formula for the volume of a rectangular solid is length times width times height. Once you know that, then you can find the volume of this rectangular solid because they give you the length, the width, and the height. So the volume for this, the length is y plus 3, the width is 2y, and the height of the box is y minus 4. So we'll go ahead and multiply those out. It doesn't matter what order you multiply in. We'll go ahead and do left to right. So I'll multiply these two first, which means I need to take the 2y and distribute it to each term inside the parentheses. 2y times y is 2 times y, which we'll write in shorthand. 2 times y is 2y squared. 2y times a positive 3, they're both positive, so I'm going to put a plus down. And so 2 times y times 3 is going to be 6y. So that's our first product. I'm going to go ahead and just bring down the y minus 4 because I haven't done anything with that yet, so I don't want to forget it. Now that I have a binomial times another binomial, I am going to FOIL, which is the same as distributing. I'm going to take my 2y squared and distribute it to those two terms. So that's how I'm going to start. I will do the same thing with the 6y in just a minute, but let's do the 2y squared first. So 2y squared times y, that's 2 times y times y times y, which we will write shorthand 2y cubed. Here, 2y squared times that minus 4. Notice the sign is negative. Signs are different, so I'm going to have a minus for my answer here. 2y squared times my 4 is 8y squared. Now I'm ready to distribute the 6y to each term. 6y times y, they're both positive, so my answer will be a positive. And 6 times y, we'll write that in shorthand. 6 times y is 6y squared. And then 6 times y times a minus 4, signs are different, so it will be negative. And we end up with a negative 24y. Almost done. We have a couple of like terms. I'm hoping that's bugging you. These two are like. They're both y squared terms. So we're going to combine them. I'm going to write down my 2y cubed. Here this is negative 8y squared, positive 6y squared. We are in debt 8 and we have 6, so we are still in debt, but only 2. And apples plus apples get you apples. Y squareds and y squareds get you y squareds. And last, I have this term I'm going to bring down because I don't have anything like to add that to. And this is your answer in descending order. Now, if you want to take this answer and evaluate it for y equals 9, you can at y equals 9. And so I have 2 times 9 cubed minus 2 times 9 squared minus 24 times 9. 9 cubed, I don't have that memorized, so I'm going to work that out. 9 times 9 times 9. Using my calculator to help me out, it's 729. So I'll go ahead and write that out first, following order of operations. 2 times 729 minus 2 times, I do have 9 squared memorized. 9 times 9 is 81. minus 24 times 9. And now we can go ahead and just do the multiplication. Again, I'll probably use my calculator to help me out with some of this. Could work it out longhand, but this is an accelerated course, and we don't have a whole lot of time. 729 times 2 is 1458, and so I'll go ahead and write that down. 1458, or 1458, minus, we're going to take 2 times 81 and get an answer of 162. So I'll go ahead and write that down. 162 minus, and then we'll have 24 times 9, which gets me 216. So I'll write that down here. So I have 1458. I'm going to subtract from that 162 and get an answer. And from that answer, I'll subtract 216. So let's start with 1458. And I'm going to subtract 162. And that gets me 1296. 1296. I'm just going to bring down the 216 and subtract 216, and that gives me 1080. Let's write that down, 1080. Last thing I need to do is figure out what the units are for this. I know it's 9 centimeters. It says right here. Luckily, they gave us that good information here. Y equals 9 centimeters. So my final answer will be in centimeters. And because it's volume, it's going to be cubic centimeters, because volume describes how many cubes will fill up a space.